Welcome to the Warner Brothers Lot. I'm Jonathon Buckley, and this is A Lot More live for the first time with Kosar Abdi, who's going to join us and talk about the Golden Globes that we just went through a couple of nights ago, and you're looking rather fresh. I know it's been a day or so, but you're looking pretty fresh. It's been a big weekend for you, I imagine.
It has.
The Golden Globes.
We were all saying that we were shot out of a cannon in the new year because it was been back-to-back carpets. First it was the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yep.
Then it was the Golden Globes. And you know what? It's good fun, though. You know when you, pull an all-nighter and you're like, listen, as long as, we had a good time, it's all good fun.
I feel like for your job, being an entertainment reporter, is it correct to say that the red carpets are probably the most intense time for your work?
Definitely awards season, yeah.
Awards season?
There's so many names, there's so many projects. So what I do is usually during the Christmas break leading up to it, I'll try to binge any projects that I haven't seen yet. Some of them, for example, Sinners came out in April.
Yep.
So some projects you already seen. Then there are Marty Supreme just came out, for example.
Yeah.
So there are some projects that you are just binging. I watched Frankenstein over the Christmas break.
Yeah.
Love. And so then you just kind of prepare. You try to see, who are the early front runners, who are favorite to win, and then it's showtime. And then you hit it.
You really have to get up on as much as you possibly can. So it's a lot of watching. When do you find time to do all that?
During the Christmas break. It's great because I feel like I recruited, I was visiting my mom and I was like, we're watching Frankenstein tonight.
Yeah,
and luckily she loves movies. So for example, when it was time to watch One Battle After Another, she's like, I've already seen it.
Yep.
So it was nice for her to watch it with me again. But yeah, I think the good part is there were so many good projects this year that it didn't feel like homework.
Yeah, it's great when you get one and you're like, this is not work. This is a lot of fun.
Yes.
Did you have any picks going into the Golden Globes this year? Obviously, you kind of have from the Critics' Choice Awards, you get an idea of what people are feeling. Did you have any picks going into this one that you kind of knew you're like, this is a shoo-in for sure?
I think seeing how well One Battle After Another did at the Critics' Choice Awards, you kind of already knew they were an early front runner. Yeah. It was great to see Sinners get his recognition as well. Yeah. Also, Sentimental Value, this indie film that came out of nowhere, has Stellan Skarsgård. I believe
his acceptance speech, by the way, was really cool.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice acceptance speech from him. It was very thoughtful and just sort of, very demure, very well presented.
Yes,
nice
and he is. I don't know if the Swedes just have this amazing dry humor, but you're always trying to read him, and but he did put a lot of thought into it. I realized a lot of people put a thought into their to their speeches during the Golden Globes. Another big winner at the Golden Globes, because it's obviously TV and movies. Adolescence.
I know. We had an idea. I had a feeling that was going to do well. And it's so nice to see that boy do so well, like his first gig, and just sort of seeing him, and he seems like he's still so grounded, and I don't know, it seems like a good kid, and it seems like a good production. I don't know how they're going to follow that up as a show, but
they don't even need to. At this point, it speaks for itself. But so you kind of had an early indication at the Critics' Choice Awards who was, a front runner, but it's a long award season, a long road to the Oscars, and if the past is any indicator of what's to come, it's not always spot on.
Yeah. And we do have a few more to go as well, which means more work for you and more outfits, I'm sure. I was watching your social, and that was very creative, the way that you chose your dress this year
I let the people decide. You saw that?
So how did it work? So you listed it. I saw your video. Did you have a poll? Did you have...
I did. I just asked people to help me pick in the comments, because we tried on our fabulous stylist, Kenneth Crowder, who works with Extra, pulled all these dresses for me. That's how it works. They'll and I live in New York. So when I touched down in LA, we didn't have that much time to pick. But fortunately for me, I had a lot of good options. And I got to a point where I was just stumped. I literally was stumped. It wasn't even just something that I was, doing for fun. I could not decide what dress I wanted to wear.
Well, because they were all so awesome. But I think you chose the right one. It was like the red dress.
Did you vote? You voted?
I didn't vote. I was just like, I'll let this one. I don't know anything about fashion, so I was like, I'm not going to muddy the waters here. Yeah. But I think you went with the nice one. And did somebody come across and tell you that you were best dressed?
Listen, I'm going to put this on my resume.
Yeah.
Right after my name, it's going to be also Coleman Domingo's pick for best dressed.
Yeah.
I mean, Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
is the most fashionable man on that carpet. So the
So
fact that he
it's
said it, maybe he was just being nice, but I'm going to take it with.
high
I'm on
praise.
cloud nine. Yes.
Yeah. And what was it like working the red carpet with Derek Huff? Because is this
Yeah.
his first Golden
First
Globes?
Golden Globes. Yeah.
And how many times have you done it? Just quickly.
I've done it twice
Okay.
before. I skipped the Globes last year. I forgot why, but I covered it 2 years ago, and that was my first one.
Yep.
It's a fun one.
Is it a fun one?
It's known as like Hollywood's biggest party. Yeah,
And it is a big party, Beverly Hilton.
Yep.
But see, I've done, the occasional red carpet, like
Mhm.
worked them, and they can be incredibly challenging environments for those who have never been to or on a red carpet
Yeah.
when you're working. Is it nerve-wracking? Do you still get the nerves before it starts?
Surprisingly not. And I wonder why. I think it's partly because I think for a lot of because we cover this beat,
Mhm.
for a lot of the celebrities, we've talked to them before. So
Yep.
when they're doing their initial press runs, so for example, like F1 was nominated.
Yeah.
We've already talked to them. We covered the carpet. We covered the press junket. And so you already know, you kind of have this rapport. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is my third year now at Extra. So it's like you kind of build a rapport and you realize they're super nice. They're just people like us.
Yeah.
And I don't have those initial nerves. But in the beginning, you do. Like my first Golden Globes, I met Oprah.
Wow.
I was like, hi. I don't know what's happening, but thank you. Yeah.
This is exciting. I don't want to fan over you too hard. I know. But is it hard? So sometimes because like the nuts and bolts, it can be pretty chaotic. So you've got publicists running around. You have people that have to be interviewed. Like there are people that you can't miss.
Yeah.
Do you have wranglers there that are wrangling for you? They're running around saying, quick, there's whoever it might be. We've got to get them in. So do they bring them to you?
Yes. So, and you're familiar with how it works, but basically at the top of the carpet, that's where they let the celebs in.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to stagger it as much as possible, but sometimes there is a mad rush at the end. And there's going to be an announcement right before showtime because they have to start on schedule. Everybody get into the ballroom right now. And so what you want to do is as people are coming in, we do have wranglers. We have a platform.
Yep.
So Derek and I can't just run. We're connected to wires and whatnot. And so we have these amazing producers that have already built a rapport with the publicists as well. So once they'll see somebody coming down. Sometimes we're like, hey, I see J-Lo. She's down there. And they'll flag down their publicist.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek and I do this kind of dance where like whoever's available will get this person. And yeah, I mean, it's organized chaos.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it.
Do you have somewhat of a plan when you go into that interview situation? So let's just say you get someone big like that, like J-Lo comes along, who looked amazing, by the way.
Didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, was it her and Jennifer Lawrence? Did they have very similar outfits on this year? I thought it was kind of like the naked floral outfit.
Yep.
I was like, ooh.
And you said you didn't know about fashion.
Well,
Look at
no,
you.
I was just watching. I was like,
Yes.
oh, they both look great. Like
Yeah.
J-Lo and J-Lo. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, J-Lo and J-Law.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was being super smart. I must have heard
You're like,
that
I
somewhere.
should copyright that.
They looked amazing. Anyway, so
100%.
let's say J-Lo comes up, and you haven't got anything prepared. Do you wing it at that point, or do you have something prepared and ready to go?
I think what helps is, again, because we cover this day in and day out, you kind of already know. Like I interviewed her. She had a recent project come out. We just interviewed her for her Vegas residency.
Yep.
And so because we talk to the same people over and over, you kind of have an idea. But I will say there are one or two where you're like, okay, let's figure this out. And I think at that point, most of the interviews are conversations. I'm not going to tell you, hey, on episode 2 of season 3, like, let's talk about this plot line. Yeah. Instead, it's, first, I want to see your fashion. Right?
Yeah.
Like they spend hours getting ready, and you want to be able to give them their flowers. Everybody looked amazing. You can just ask them, what projects are they working on? And also the vibe. There's so many. What I love about both the Critics' Choice Awards and the Golden Globes is because they cover TV and film.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrities are fans of other celebrities, and they've been binging during the Christmas break projects too. Yeah, so it's so funny to see. Like who would I say? But like, for example, like Charlie Hunnam, who's looking for the cast of White Lotus because he's a fan of that. So it's so cool to see them being fans of the same projects that we love. And they're also friends. So there's so many people that are like, oh, I just ran into this. It could be a cast reunion. So for example, with Sinners, it came out, like they filmed probably a very long time ago. It came out earlier this year. And so it's nice for them to be able to like see each other again. A lot of them have like group messages, but they live in different parts of the world.
So this is their chance to reunite, get together, have a good time.
Exactly.
Was there anyone that you were super excited to get a chance to see on the red carpet again? Like someone that you have an affinity with, like a friendship with, that you were like, yes, they're here.
I mean, I love Coleman Domingo. I will say 10 out of 10. Yep. Tiana Taylor is from Harlem.
Yep.
And I am based in New York, and so we get to see her all the time. And what I love is she always shows extra love. So we put together this video for her where every time she comes up to talk to us, it doesn't matter what event, she'll say, extra, extra, and then do this little dance. She like made up a whole new theme song for us. And so it was really cool now that obviously she's having an incredible run with One Battle After Another to see just how far she's come. Many people don't know this, but she was signed to Pharrell's record label at the age of 16.
I did not know that.
Was on remember My Super Sweet 16 from MTV? She was on that show.
Way.
Yes.
Well,
so a lot of people don't know that she's been in this industry just behind the scenes forever.
Yeah.
And so to see her and be able to give her flowers and also just show her love, because she always shows extra love, that was really nice to see as well.
She looked amazing too. I saw her on the red carpet. I saw her on the stairwell posing, and I was like, yes. Like, I was like, oh, she was really, she was really put on a show.
She was amazing.
It was crazy.
Who else did we got to catch up with? Julia Roberts. I mean,
know, like,
what?
And
Queen of Hollywood.
I really felt that this year as well with some of the stars that have been nominated that are there and are very sort of, starstruck to be there themselves, which is wild to see their reaction to being sat next to or near Julia Roberts.
Who the most fun person to watch is Owen Cooper, who plays the 13-year-old in Adolescence.
Yeah.
He was like in a room full of his idols, let's just say. And so during the commercial breaks, we get a live feed. So we get to see multiple angles of what celebs are doing when there's a commercial break in between Nikki Glaser coming out.
Yeah.
And what was really fun to watch is him going up to Leonardo DiCaprio, telling him how much he loves him, Leonardo showing him love, and then him asking for a picture. He said he got a picture with Leo, he got a picture with The Rock, he got a picture with, who else was it? I don't remember, but the who's who of Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And when I asked him about it, I'm like, oh my God, that was such a cool moment. He was like, I don't know when I'll be here again.
And I love that innocence because I saw when the lead actor, and I forget his name's escaping
Stephen Graham,
went up. And, he was down there. He's got his phone out and he's
Isn't it
videotaping.
cool?
And I was like, that is just so honest and open and just like unfiltered. Like, he's just enjoying it the most.
That I would say is the most fun experience throughout award season are the people that are the breakout stars. Yeah. So the Miles Canton, the Chase Infinities, for example. Yep. Seeing Chase Infinity and her date was her dad. And I was like, who does your dad want to see? And he was like, oh, I want to see everybody. I'm here. I'm going to meet everyone tonight. Yeah. So just to see those moments, I feel like the George Clooney's, they're pros at this. They've been in this for a long time. But seeing the new up-and-comers, that's always fun.
Excitement.
Yeah.
How does this one rank to other ones that you've been to? Would you say it was a particularly good one this year?
I think so. I think when you have Leo, Ethan Hawke, who else was in that category? Timothy Chalamet. It was just like a stacked category. And then, I would say this year particularly because the projects also were so good.
So good,
that you weren't like, ooh, okay, these were tough watches. And now you got to sit through, the entire award season. Jacob Elordi, like there were so many people from different generations there.
And it's an intimate room compared to something like the Oscars, which is a much larger, feels like much larger in scale. Like looking at the shows, there were only select people from, individual shows that were really invited to the room. So it's a pretty intimate affair. Like everyone's kind of piled in. Did you have a good spot?
So we set up literally backstage because what ends up happening is it's called the winner's circle. So right after somebody collects their award, they come back and they talk to us. So we go literally from the carpet to a spot backstage where we were watching it, everything coming through a live stream, getting prepared because the minute that person, like say it's a Rose Byrne, for example, wins, she's coming right backstage within minutes.
Yeah.
And that is honestly, I will say, that was my first year doing the backstage. I always do the carpet. Seeing the backstage action was the most fun because watching, for example, newcomer Jessie Buckley, who just won for Best Actress in Hamnet, FaceTiming her dad at 4 a.m. in Ireland. Yeah. And she's like, Dad! And you can hear the reception cutting in and out. So you really get to experience what they experience because you hear them and you could hear their, voices shaking when they're accepting the award and they can't believe it.
Yep.
But minutes after they get off that stage and they have the award in hand, some of them are like, I don't know where it went. Some like Wrangler just took it away from me, and it keeps appearing. And the excitement, and then being able to like share it with their loved ones, whoever's there, or like calling. I think Rose Byrne was calling her husband, and
which was one of the funniest. What did she say? Her husband was they're buying a bearded dragon, and he was in New Jersey at a reptile expo. I think was what it was. I was like, a hilarious speech, just hilarious, and she just seems like, again, really nice.
Oh my, she was so funny. I sat down. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought she was saying like, when you just make up something because he couldn't make it because maybe he has his wisdom teeth removed.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, we're buying a bearded dragon. I was like, oh, that's a very specific thing to be doing.
Yeah.
But she was just so excited.
How did you think? What did you think about Nikki Glaser as a host again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a Nikki Glaser fan.
Yeah.
I remember she was doing. I think it was like the Kennedy Honors for Kevin Hart, and she was part of that. And this was before the Golden Globes. This is before the roast of Tom Brady. And she was just such a cool person. And that's when I really got to know her. And I was like, oh, she's actually really funny. Her comedic timing is impeccable.
Yeah.
Then she did the roast. Then she did the Golden Globes. And I feel like what I love about her and the reason why she's so good is she knows how to toe the line. She doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
But she doesn't go so far that it's vulgar or offends anyone. And you see the celebs actually laughing at themselves. And I'm not surprised that she was then invited back. And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, for a long time, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey were hosting.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais hosts a lot too. But there have been some former Golden Globe hosts that they are not calling back.
They're not calling back. That's what we were discussing this earlier before we came on, that it was definitely something that she's hilarious and scathing at times, but it's not uncomfortably so. And so people felt like they were like, getting ready to get roasted a little bit, but it wasn't too much. It was still positive. It was still fun, and everyone could go out with their head held high.
My favorite was when she said, oh my God, I can't, I'm going to kill it and paraphrase it, but when she was talking about Timothée Chalamet and him having his eyelashes as a mustache. See, that's funny.
It's funny. It's funny stuff. And boy, the roast of Tom Brady really just put her on the map. And I think from there, she's gone from strength to strength. And so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of her. I think she's a great host.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the pit though, too, because I'm like biased, obviously, but it's such a great show. I've been very fortunate to sit in this room and chat to a lot of the cast. Were you surprised in any way, shape, or form that they took out Best Drama, Best Actor?
No, I wasn't surprised, only because of the work that has gone into it. I remember when they, right before season 1 premiere, talking to the cast and noticing the number of consultants, for example, they had on that show. And the lengths they went through to make sure that it was as accurate as possible, as close as possible. So originally, I wasn't surprised that the show blew up the way it did.
You had an idea back in the day,
yeah,
back when it first started?
But I don't think any of us could have imagined that it was going to be
You guys got access. Sorry, you got access to the set and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's incredible. It was also cool to see that like they really make everyone wear scrubs.
Yeah.
So then I talked to them right before the Golden Globe. They had the season 2 premiere.
Yep.
And season 1, they didn't have a premiere because of the fires.
Oh, of course.
So this was the first time they were all getting together, and it was fun poking fun at them for wearing clothes and not scrubs for the first time, and so and also seeing now the success of the show and going into it and talking to Noah Wyle and also the way he has set a tone on that set. Everyone was just speaking so highly of him. And so to see him take home that award and knowing everything he's done to make this come to fruition, what I think is it's a really inspiring story for a lot of people who think, okay, after 30 years and doing something, maybe my best days are behind me.
Mm-hmm.
But to see him getting some of his highest praise, reaching milestones that he's never before now is so inspiring.
Well, and also for Scott Gemmell as well, the writer of the series, he's getting accolades now. He's been in the industry writing for 30 years or so as well, doing the same sort of thing, and they're really just and I said this to Scott, he's a master of his craft. I think Noah is as well. You see his performance and it's just so grounded. And I agree with what you said. I think they do seem to run that set. He's the captain of the ship, and it just sort of kind of makes it a little nicer for everybody else. So I thought that was, I was just really excited. I really excited with
And Catherine Lanasa, for example, taking home her Critics' Choice Award.
Yep.
Her and her husband, the relationship they have. It's always so cute to see that no matter where she is, she's always going to give him a shout out.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was up on stage, and it was very, very touching moment. And I'm so happy to see her get her flowers as well. But they swept.
They swept. Yeah. And I think, are you watching this season?
I am.
Yeah.
I only have one episode out so far. Yeah.
I've got sneaky access, so I've seen a few. No, I won't say anything right now because we're live, so I can't say. But it's great. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a great series, and they got. It's been announced now. They're good for season 3. So
which I'm not surprised, but I love seeing the new faces.
Yep.
We had Shabana Azim on our set yesterday, and it's just so cool to see.
Did we have her yesterday too, Jonathan? Yeah, that was your Shabana. Yeah.
Was she cheating on us? I'm just kidding. She made it seem like we were the only. I'm just kidding. No,
she's an angel, like such a sweet. So she's going to go a long way. I can tell. And Supriya as well, who was another.
Oh my God, yes.
So now the SAG Awards. So next up, because again, you're in award season, so it's funny that this is a season for you.
Yeah.
What is your next red carpet that you're going to be running?
So for me, it's going to be the SAG Awards. So in between, obviously, this doesn't have to do with film or television, but there's the Grammys somewhere in there. That's part of the greater award season. There's also the BAFTAs. So that's the British Academy Awards. They're in there somewhere too. And then, but the one here that we're going to be doing is the SAG Awards. All of these are kind of just early indicators of like, okay, who's getting recognition? What films are going to take it home all the way to the end, and then obviously it ends with the Oscars.
And we had, was it Janelle James that did she announced the SAG Awards as well? So the nominations are out. Again, biased, but I feel like we're doing okay. Over here at Warner Brothers. So.
Already, I believe Sinners got 5 nominations. 5 nominations. Some of the actors, I believe, so it was the actors individual, including Michael B. Jordan, and then the overall movie as well.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yes.
You're such a busy person. I was looking at your Instagram because I was curious about it, but I'm amazed at your energy to go from these award shows to be like creating as much content as you have, because you've really sort of lent into the content creation on your platform, which is a full-time job in itself.
You better tell them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everyone is tired of me being like, wait, I need my TikTok. Hold on, wait.
But yours is really like
fun.
next level. I mean, you've got full edit. You're editing voiceover. I mean, it's like you're committed to it. So if we're watching now, where do we go to find your socials?
My social. So on TikTok, it's at MoCoAb. It's first initials of each of my names. And then on Instagram, it's Mona K. Abdi.
Excellent. And you'll be able to get a good look behind the scenes. You'll be able to vote on dresses, all sorts of fun things.
Yes. And I'll show you the behind the scenes of the podcast in a second. We're going to film something.
Of course. And of course, we'll see you on Extra as well. So that's your home. So thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little behind the scene glimpse at the Golden Globes. Mona,
you're picking my next dress. You're
picking
it.
All right. Challenge accepted. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're so great.